Hello everyone, welcome to the Always Keep Ice in Your Pocket Instagram live stream. My name is Brooke and today we'll be doing a live demonstration of how to fill out a mice, as you can see here, and how to fill out the medical ID features on an Apple phone and on an Android phone. So if you've been to the other Instagram lives we've held this week, you know that we've had a super special guest. As you can see, Holly Hobby. But today we're going to flip things up and bring in an even more special guest. So as you can see here, we have Fluffy. And we're going to be filling out Fluffy's medical information card for emergency today. So, let's get started. So, as you can see, the first thing on the mice in big bold letters is medical information card for emergency. So when you put it in your wallet, you want to make sure that that phrase is face up so the emergency worker can easily identify it when they look in your wallet to see if you have any identification in there. So first is their name. So we're going to write Fluffy Dog. Next is Fluffy's DOB, or date of birth. So her birthday is March 25th, 2012. So we're going to write 3/25/12. Just like that. Next is Fluffy's address. So as you could see when I showed her before, she was sitting on my bed because it's really early in the morning and she's really tired. So we'll say 1 Brooke's room, in house, New York, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to go into Fluffy's emergency contacts. So since I'm one of Fluffy's owners, I'll write my first name. You would write the last name, but I don't want to completely expose myself. So, and the phone number. So I'll write Brooke, then last name, and we'll just say my phone number is 12345678999. Just like that. And then we could also say my dad is one of Fluffy's emergency contacts. So last name. And then we'll say his phone number is 998-765-3211. Just like that. So now we need Fluffy's healthcare provider. So her healthcare provider is a vet. So we'll just write Dr. Vet for now. And then their phone number can be 112-233-4455. So now we have the front side of the mice filled out. As you can see, it's written pretty legibly, pretty clear, so anyone can read this easily. And now we're going to do the back side of the mice. So I'll just flip it over. So as you can see, this side of the mice has more lines and less information. So this side has your medical information. So if you ever become incapacitated, the emergency worker will look to this side to say, oh, this person has this allergy. We can't give them this medicine. Or, oh, this person has this medical condition. We need to be aware of that. So it's super important that this side is filled out accurately. So, Fluffy's known allergies. We'll say her known allergies are bees. Fluffy has a bad relationship with bees. Next are her known medical conditions. So Fluffy is a really healthy dog, but she still might have an underlying medical condition that the vets haven't been aware of yet. So we're just going to write none known. It can always change, but for now, she just doesn't have any that she's aware of. Next are Fluffy's medications. So she takes 2 medications once a month, one for her heart and one as a tick prevention. So I don't know what they're exactly called, but we'll just pretend that I'm writing like a really fancy name for a medicine. So we'll write tick med. Then I'll write once a month. Comma. And then I'll write heart med once a month. So now we have the front and back side of the mice filled out for Fluffy here. As you can see, oh, I see someone in chat wants to see Fluffy again. Okay, well, I can't say no to that. So you can see there she is. She's looking, I have some treats over here for her to make sure she doesn't want to run out in the middle of my presentation. I'll give her one now just because she's been doing pretty well during this. So now I have Fluffy's wallet here. And we're going to open it, and as you can see, we have the slots here where she could put her driver's license or her Starbucks rewards card. So now I'm going to put this in one of the slots with the medical information card for emergency phrase face up. As you can see, I'll lift up the camera so it zooms out. It's pretty visible. You can see the whole phrase. And it's on the side too. So if Fluffy had a wallet that was like this, if it were like coming up like that, it would look like that. So it's super important that it's visible in the wallet like that. And it's also pretty color, thank you. Fluffy has good taste. And it's also on the back too. So in case you put it in with the back side facing up, you can still see it. So now Fluffy has 2 different iPhones. She has an Apple phone and an Android phone. So now we're going to fill out the iPhone first. So let me just unlock. So this is what it looks like from the lock screen. So if you try to unlock it, notice that there's the emergency button in the bottom left corner. So once you click emergency, you have access to an emergency call. And you could dial like 911 or something. And as you could see, if you have never set up your medical ID before, this button won't be here. But since this phone has had it set up before, it's there. But I deleted all the information, so nothing would happen if you click that. So let me just unlock it. 2 phones. Yes, Fluffy has 2 different phones. I don't know how she manages with both. So we're going to look for the health app. I think it's in extras. If you're having trouble finding the app, you can always swipe down and then type in health. And there it is, health app. So we're just going to click that. And this is an iPhone 6, so it is an older iPhone. So some of the newer phones, like once you open the health app, you're able to edit your medical ID by clicking this icon in the top right, and then medical ID should be like right around here. It's the second drop down option that they give you. But since this is an older phone, there is a special tab for medical ID. And just something to note, sometimes you may not even have realized that you have a health app. So if it's your first time opening up the app will prompt you to fill out some information. You can fill it out and then fix it later, but you would know if you have to set the app up if you open it and it's like, welcome to the health app, and then there's a blue bar that says next at the bottom. So we're going to do the medical ID and then press edit. And on the older phone, this emergency access tab is at the top. And the newer phones, it's at the bottom under emergency contacts. You want to make sure that you flip it so it's green, like it is right now. So then that way, it'll appear in the bottom left corner of the emergency screen when your phone is locked. So now we're going to fill out the medical ID for Fluffy. So we'll do Fluffy dog. Add her date of birth. We said that it's March 25th, 2012. Her medical conditions, we said that she has none known because she doesn't have any that we're aware of just yet. We'll leave her medical notes blank because she doesn't have anything that she wants to tell the EMTs. For allergies, we said she's allergic to bees because Fluffy really doesn't like bees. But, I mean, in all seriousness, if you do have an allergy, just write it there. Not just, I don't like bees. And Fluffy's medications, we'll say, are her tick medicine and her heart medicine. So we'll call them tick med, then once a month, and then heart med once a month. So then you could fill out your blood type if you want to, but if you are in an accident, the emergency workers will give you the universal blood, O negative. So you could fill that out if you know it. If you don't worry. You could fill out if you're an organ donor, and if you want, you could fill out your height and weight. So now for emergency contacts, once you click this, it brings you to a list of all your contacts, and then you click on the person you want to add. And if you have multiple phone numbers for that person, like their home phone, their cell phone, their work phone, you tap on the phone number that you want their emergency contact to be. So I'm not going to do that because this phone has like a ton of contacts on it, but that's how you would do it. So now we're going to take a clear picture of Fluffy. So I'll do that right now. Took a second because she's decided to go back to sleep, so I had to wake her up. So, zoom in on Fluffy, and then use. So now we have, now we have the medical ID for Fluffy dog filled out. Press done, and there it is. Now you can see it. Again, if you had emergency contacts, they would show up there. And now if you want to access this, you can swipe out, press the lock screen, and then once you turn it on and you try to get in, if you're an emergency worker, you're like, oh, emergency, medical ID, and there it is. That's everything we just filled out. So that's how you do it on an iPhone. Now let's do it for an Android phone. So let me unlock this one. Okay. So the Android phone doesn't have an actual health app, so we're going to have to do it through settings. So once you go to settings and you get this screen, you're sitting at the top, you scroll down to system, and then you tap about phone. And then you could see emergency contacts. And it brings you to this screen. Well, it doesn't say emergency contacts, it says emergency information. So now, if you had it fill out, it would prompt you to say medical information, emergency contacts. So you tap edit information, and now we're going to fill this out for Fluffy. So her name is Fluffy Dog. Her address, we said her address is 1 Brooks Room in House, New York, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So her blood type, as I said before, we could just leave that blank because if you do need a blood transfusion, the emergency workers will give you O negative. Her allergies, we said bees. Medications, we have the 2 medications. We have Tick Med, then we'll just write once a month, and Heart Med, once a month. Okay. And she doesn't have any medical conditions, but if she did, we could enter them here in medical notes. So we'll just leave that blank. Now we're going to go to emergency contacts. And same thing, this phone does have a lot of contacts on it. So if you have an Android, you would just tap this. It would give you the list of contacts. You would tap on the person you want. And then it might prompt you to tap on, like, which phone number do you want? So then that's it. And then when you're done, you can go back, and now you're all done. So if this phone was locked and you wanted to access it from the lock screen, you swipe up to where the passcode is. Then as you can see, there's a little button that says emergency. So you tap emergency, and then there's where you could call 911. And then at the top, you see it says emergency information. So you're going to tap it, and then it wants you to tap it again once it turns red, and there it is. The information for Fluffy Dog. Then the emergency contacts would show up at the bottom, but for right now we don't have any entered. So that's how you do it on an Android. So if you have any questions, you could type them into the chat now, and I'll answer them. Meanwhile, I'll talk about some frequently asked questions. So, Always Keep Ice in Your Pocket is a Girl Scout Gold Award project. So I have been getting, well, what exactly is the Girl Scout Gold Award? So the Gold Award is the highest earning award a Girl Scout can earn. It is a project that not only benefits the girls' community and her friends and her family and maybe coworkers if she has a job, but it also has a national and global link. So anyone in the world, let's say, I have a website, so my national and global link is that anyone in the world can search up Always Keep Ice in Your Pocket and find the YouTube channel and find the website, and that stuff is there forever. So anyone for the rest of time can search up Always Keep Ice in Your Pocket and know what my project is about. Great job, thank you. I see, does Fluffy sleep a lot? Yes, she does. In fact, we'll bring it back to Fluffy one more time. There she is. She was just sleeping again. That's where her head was. There she is. So now we're back here. We'll put the phone back up. Yeah, Fluffy already fell back asleep as soon as I left. Another question I got was how many emergency contacts how many emergency contacts can you have up to? So on an Apple phone, I know you can have a lot because I've seen people that have had 8. So if there is a limit, I would assume it's probably about 10. I'm not entirely sure though. I know on Samsung phones, you can have up to 3. And on an Android phone, I'm not too sure, but the general rule for all is that please add at least 1, because let's say if you're in a car crash, And if your only emergency contact is with you, then the emergency workers won't have anyone else to call. You sound very natural, not boring at all. Thank you so much. Should I write meds in pencil in case they change? Yes, you could definitely do that. If you write it on pen, then you could always print your own set from my website. My website is in the link of the bio of the Instagram account. And, like, I've mailed a couple of you guys, or, like, in person, 2 mice card each. So as you can see, we have Fluffy Dogs and then a blank one. So I would give this to Fluffy Dog and say, okay, keep this one for yourself, and then give this one to, like, family member or friend or coworker to spread the awareness of how important it is to carry medical information. But yeah, if you can write it in pencil in case they change. The only problem is that if you do write your medications in pencil, if you put it, like, in your wallet, sometimes pencil, like, smudges or something. So, and then, like, if it smudges, like, the words become lighter and it might be harder to read. But yeah, you can write it in pencil. That's a good idea in case that changes. Will you be my emergency contact? Sure. That's a good point about having more than one emergency contact. I haven't thought about that. Yeah, it's okay. You're not the first one to say that. There's a lot of people who I've talked to within the past week, while I help them set up their medical ID in person. They're like, oh, I just want, like, my husband or my wife or my mom to be my emergency contact. And it's like, yeah, you can do that, but also just, do you have, like, a brother or sister you can add, or, like, another parent? So it's super important to make sure that you have more than one emergency contact. Another question I got was, oh, I see. Before I say that, does Fluffy eat a lot? Yes, and that's why I have some treats over here, just in case she wanted some. Because she's been a good dog throughout this live stream, and I wanted to make sure that she's here. I'll give her one now. Yeah, because it's early for her, and I felt bad, like, waking her up, so I have some treats here, so she gets rewarded for helping me. She really likes it. Another question I got was, on the mice, can you write the relationship you have with that person, or should you just write their name? So as you can see, because I have a different setup today, so I was, like, writing through the camera. I wasn't, like, writing directly, like, looking at the piece of paper. But yeah, you can. So I was writing, like, really kind of big. As you can see, I had to squish in the last 2 numbers there. But if you write small, you could definitely write, like, Brooke, last name, parentheses, owner, in the case of Fluffy Dog, because I'm her owner, or, like, parent, spouse, child, whatever, just to make sure. And I know for sure on Apple phones, when you do add an emergency contact, it prompts you, like, which phone number do you want to choose? You click on which one, and then it brings you to another screen asking for your relationship with that person, and they have, like, basically every relationship on the planet, like, mother, father, daughter, son, like, blah, you get it. And now I see, would it matter if an emergency contact lives in a different area? Maybe I haven't really thought about that. That's a good question. But yeah, like, I would say, because your emergency contact, you want to be, like, if you have to be transported to the hospital, you want someone to, like, be with you, because going to the hospital is scary if you're hurt. So you want to make sure that one of your emergency contacts is pretty close by, just in case you do need to be transported to the hospital. And also, just because, like, if they need to come and, like, get you or help you, you want them to come as quickly as possible. You don't want there to be, like, oh, I live in another state, I'm, like, 5 hours away. So you want to, yeah, you do want to make sure they are pretty close. Fluffy's looking at the treats again. I feel like I should give her another one. Here you go, Fluffy. Okay, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for coming out. We'll do another Fluffy cam again for good luck. There she is. She's still eating the treat I just gave her. So thank you so much. This really helps. I hope it was helpful for all of you. Please go to the website, get your own set of mice, and give them out to your friends or coworkers or family members, because it's super important that we all are prepared in case of emergency. So I hope you all have a great day. We're doing another live demonstration, probably with Fluffy tonight. And then tomorrow is the last day of presentations, so it's a little bit sad because this has been really fun, but there is a YouTube live stream at 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. So again, tonight at 8 p.m. Instagram Live, tomorrow at 9 a.m. YouTube Live, 8 p.m. tomorrow YouTube Live. So I hope to all see you there. Thank you so much for coming. Very helpful. Thank you. I hope it is. So have a good day.